What's up guys, I'm new here and today I'm gonna explain this beast. This is a moss and skulk block farm that I modified from Mango's design, and it has some improvements and some features that are implemented and not in the Mango's version. So here's the on-off switch, is right at the AFK spot. You just have to flick this lever, the trapdoor updates, and that will update the copper bulb, which will turn on the entire farm. And after some time, blocks will be pushed over for the player to mine. Here, I tried to use something like, for any time that this piston moves, so we need these pistons would trigger, but I feel like that would kind of mess up the wiring, since you have to go around the entire build, or maybe even do a lot of those shenanigans. But it is technically possible. You really do know it. I really do know how to build this stuff, but I just feel like I cannot build it because these blocks, of course. And also, you cannot just detect of these pistons. You have to detect that middle piston that cycles 3 times, of course. And what you have to do is that you can, however, install something like this. I mean, you can loop the redstone around to make a something like this, of course. But for the sake of this video, I'm just not building it. And here, it's already good enough for me. So we just use this kind of detection circuit that will push a block here. And so these pistons, they will break the moss blocks, which is good enough already, because we want to get rid of the moss carpet, as well as some pieces of stone, of course. And we're mainly farming skulk, but we're mostly farming moss. So the thing is that enderman spawn rates are very low. So here I have an enderman farm. The enderman will spawn and then immediately get aggroed, and they will run toward the kill chamber. And here, using dead coral fans, mobs see them as full blocks and they run over them, and then they end up dying. But this enderman somehow survived the fall, so I just have to kill it to make it pay. And here we're using a slow-moving pillar, so there's enough time for the sculk charges to spread onto the stone blocks from the stone generator, and they will be pushed up, processed into this feed tape style thing, and it will be pushed into this column of blocks, which would then be processed further. So these pistons are the easiest. You just have a lot of pistons to push the blocks, but then for the edges you have to use some extra pistons, push them to the side, then down, and use the same feed tape style. And for this side, you just have to push this over by a block and then up, and you process it the same way. And the farm is mirrored on both sides. So you can see one side is mirror of the other. And in the middle is the AFK spot. It combines all the both of the sides, of course. And we have the water to flush away the moss carpets, of course. And here we're using rails to transmit signals. You could technically use all powered rails, but yeah, you could also alternate powered and activated rails, or you can use all of those activated rails. It does not really matter at all. To push the blocks down and then to the side. And when this rail line gets activated, this observer detects it, pushes the column of blocks down, and this will activate the pistons. At the same time, it activates the bone meal circuit. The bone meal circuit then have the piston destroy the contents above. So here we have this water flushing mechanism controlled by this intricate little clock that, you know, has, yeah, this is a hopper clock, but not just any hopper clock. It's a very unique hopper clock. It contains 5 non-stackable items to achieve this unique delay while preserving this maximum signal strength of 15 when the hoppers are full. And yes, everything I'm showing is just basically mirrored, and one side is the mirror of the other. So here we have a shulker box loader, because this farm consumes a lot of bone meal. So you get some shulkers of bone meal, and then they'll be unloaded, sent to this chest, and then to those hoppers. But in the meantime, you still get some bone meal back. You could technically compost the moss blocks that fall on top of the chests. Yeah, you can, of course, do that. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, you already composted a lot of the blocks into the bone meal. So, I mean, you do get a decent amount of bone meal back. And here the AFK spot is made of leaves covered in maps, item frames and maps, sorry. So this center item frame is important because it prevents the water from spilling absolutely everywhere. But the rest is just optional. I'm just including them because aesthetics are important. And yes, I cannot include those in those spots because there are already glass blocks right here. But if you view it from an angle, you can see it's already a pretty perfect, since it's just cubes, of course. It's just a cube of the void. Now, I've had some design challenges, and the flaws I had in the showcase video are fixed. First of all, I have this torch detection setup, as well as an observer one, but it turned out to be way horrible than I expected it to be. And here we also have this detection setup. It uses sand blocks, of course, but yeah, if you don't know what this is, I'll build it for you. So the setup I'm talking about is this intricate one. For when you have a piston and then an observer, gotta admit that, of course, and then you gotta get a piston. Yeah, sorry, redstone does the solid block. And that is the trick that I'm using up until I upgraded it into a better version, so that we don't have any form of clunkiness or any other form of bullshit going on. And here I've graded to using these pillars of blocks. But you can also see that when the player fails to mine a block, it alternates, switches sides. So it never gets filled up right here. And even when the player fails to mine a block, the machine still wouldn't break, because the machine is built to be fail-proof. For the stone at this spot, they would be converted to moss, of course. You do lose a couple bits of sculk, but it's extremely unlikely that you lose a lot. And here we have an auto dropper, because I'm lazy to build a storage system for those items. I'm too lazy to build it. And of course, this beacon right here, it actually does something very important, because the beacon is an immovable block that doesn't conduct redstone. It still lets redstone wires be placed on top. So that's what makes it unique. And yeah, because I'm using a beacon right here, it wouldn't power this rail. It wouldn't affect anything, of course. But if you were to replace the beacon with the obsidian, then it would be problematic, of course. And yes, it's repeated on both sides, and of course, a total costing for beacons. Right here, this circuit right here will shoot out a drop of water periodically, and of course it will destroy the incoming moss carpets that generated on top. Right here, as you can see, the water just destroyed those moss carpets. If that did not exist, like in the previous showcase video, then the farm would just break, because stone wouldn't convert to moss if there's already moss carpet on top. And here we're using redstone lamps. And for those who don't know, redstone lamps stay on for 4 game ticks before actually turning off. So as you can see, it's pretty noticeable. If I were to, have this attached to a 2-tick repeater, that would be far more noticeable. So I put this repeater right here. If it's 1 tick or 2 game ticks, then this repeater would turn off first. And when it's 2 ticks, the farm is lagging so bad. The farm is causing massive amounts of lag. So you can see that the 2-tick repeater turns off the exact same time as the redstone lamp. It shouldn't turn on the exact same time as redstone lamp. As you can see, this time it didn't turn on at the same time as the redstone lamp, but it does turn off at the same time. So redstone lamps stay on for 4 game ticks before actually turning off. And this gives us an advantage that's for this observer to post twice. Meaning that the dispenser will activate twice, dispensing and taking away the water, of course. If you were to replace the redstone lamps with droppers, it wouldn't work. The water would just stay there, and that would cause so many issues. So we're using redstone lamps to achieve that effect. And you can see that the drop of water will shoot out, and if I were to use droppers, then it would just stay there forever until the next activation. And even when you turn off the farm, you can see it takes a while before the pistons stop moving, and so on and so forth. Just wanted to reduce the lag, of course. Had enough. So here we have a sculk charge line, and the sculk catalyst will generate these bubbles or the charges whenever the enemy die to fall damage. So when they die to fall damage, the the sculk charge line spread on top of this elevator, and it will go into either of those two sides. And same is true for your side, and in fact we have 4 of them. As you can see, this sculk charge, it goes up and it goes right here, and it will, as you can see, converts these blocks into sculk. And of course there are sculk veins in the wiring, but it does not matter. The sculk veins don't affect anything at all. And here we have this stone generator. It's really simple to build. It's just waterlogged pistons and lava above. That's pretty much it. And we have this very slow clock. It's just to control this moving pillars, of course, because it's a slow moving pillar. Makes enough time for the sculk charges to spread onto the stone and make it convert to sculk. But it also controls these circuits over here, just to push the blocks into the AFK spot where the player can mine the blocks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Besides that, Endermen constantly in this redstone line. I do not know what is going on to that freaking Enderman. But yeah, that's basically it for that. And the Enderman farm, we use fall damage to kill the Enderman, and as well as hopper minecarts to collect the drops from the Endermans, those being Ender pearls. And those sculk charge lines also buy a mango as well. And designing this farm took me over a week, because I have to figure out the piston layout and also the dimensions myself, and even the wirings and timings and all sorts of bullshit. And it turned out to be not so great, but this version does really satisfy me compared to the old one, which is extremely horrific. Yeah, it is really, really horrendous. And yeah, I fixed all of the flaws, and the farm is pretty much just improved in every way. This is the end of my video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.